1 out of 3 people have a diagnosable anxiety or depression. Only 1/3 of them ever receive any treatment at all. Only 10% of them ever receive any effective treatment at all. If you add the number who would not qualify for a formal diagnosis, but still have an anxiety and depression that affects their wellness, health, and happiness, it's 1 out of every 2 people worldwide. From anxiety and depression and the stress that that causes come virtually any illness or disease that you can name. 65% of all people in the United States are taking a prescription drug. 43% of those are for mood. If you put anxiety and depression together, and you should, it is the single largest diagnosed health problem in the world today, and nothing else is close. If you want a comparison to give this some scale, about as many people are diagnosed with depression as women diagnosed with breast cancer every single year. The source, as Southwestern University found, is your memories. Memories that have basically lies in them. Rejection, hurt, unforgiveness, self-worth. The problem in every one of those memories is a lie. Those lies, those memories, have a negative energy about them. Your memories aren't made of flesh and blood and bone and tissue as most people think. They've cut out every part of the brain and the memories are still there. That's why they started calling them cellular memories, in cells all over the body. Okay? Your unconscious and subconscious mind, where most of the memories causing the problems are, according to Dr. Bruce Lipton, that's over 90% of them. So those memories, along with good, happy memories, and all of them in between, create an energy of your mind, of your unconscious and subconscious mind. Well, if we thought of that energy between 100% negative, which maybe we call -10, to 100% positive, which we would call +10, when psychological adaptation is not working, it's because your energy is too far to the negative. Let's say -4 to -10. If that unconscious, subconscious energy from your memories is a -4 to a -10, it's too much for psychological adaptation to overcome. And it tries, and it tries, and it tries, but it can't do it. So in order for that to kick in and make you okay without even trying in any and every situation, we have to shift your internal energy a little bit more to the positive. Once we get that to -3 up to +10, psychological adaptation will grab hold of your negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative actions and behaviors, addictions. Psychological adaptation will grab hold of those and make them okay. And addictions often go away. People tell me all the time, I used to try so hard to change my negative thoughts to positive, and I never could do it. But once we did a little bit of this work, all of a sudden I'm not trying and they're positive. I'm not trying and my emotions are positive. I'm not trying and I'm being able to do what I want to do and not do what I don't want to do. So to me, that is one of the absolute, hidden, unknown to almost anyone keys, is that the mechanism built to make you okay is malfunctioning. And you're internally too negative for it to overcome. What you need is a process that does one thing and one thing only. Automatically finds internal cellular memories that are negative 4 to negative 10, with anger, unforgiveness, low self-worth, and either bring them to neutral or even to positive. And I want to promise you today that process exists. It has been tested with medical tests, and the results are beyond what is supposed to be possible. It is fast, sometimes minutes, sometimes days, almost always within 2 or 3 months. And you can do it at home, in your pajamas, without any facilitator, doctor, or anyone else. And the reason it's so powerful and effective is it addresses the source, which is your memories, and addresses the source that is energy with an energy process built to change energy. So I believe this thing that I've been, given, and it's helped people in 50 states, 172 countries and counting, can help you. If you relate to Hope before her name change, Tracy, where bedtime was her favorite day, getting up was the worst part of the day, and 20 things during the day would set her off, either to sadness, to anger, to anxiety. And from those things, I believe, a number of health problems she also had came. But the basis, the root, the source is the non-physical. The anxiety, the depression, the memories, and the energy of those memories. You don't use a lug wrench to brush your teeth. You don't use a toothbrush to change a tire. You use the tool that's right for the job. Surgery cannot change your cellular memories. Prescription medications cannot change your cellular memories. Supplements, at least I've never seen one that could, cannot change your cellular memories. You need an energy process that does one thing: automatically finds and changes to the point of healing your negative memories. And that includes the one passed down from your ancestors for hundreds of years back that you don't even know about. Let me give you an example about what makes a memory a toxic memory and can lead to anxiety or depression. When I was 12 years old, on a Saturday morning in the spring, my father had just been diagnosed with severe heart disease. And I had a tennis match scheduled, which was very normal for me. I went to college on a tennis scholarship. But on that particular Saturday morning, my father wanted me to work with him in the garden. And I couldn't. I told him I had a tennis match. Again, that was very normal. But on this particular occasion, he snapped. It had never happened before. It never happened since. But he lost it. He started hitting me over and over again, not with his fist, with his open hand. And while he was hitting me, he said over and over, "Alex, you're never going to amount to anything. Alex, you're never going to amount to anything. Alex, you're never going to amount to anything." Probably went on for about 2 minutes. Seemed like 2 years. He knocked me on the ground. I cut my knee when I fell on the ground. And in 2 minutes it was over. But that 2 minutes ruled the next 15 years of my life. Now, I never made the connection until a lot later that it had to do with that event. But immediately after that, everyone said my mood completely changed. The biggest thing they saw is that before that, I would spontaneously sing all the time. After that day, I never sang again for 15 years. The joy was gone. Why? Because my dad was my hero. And if he says it, it's got to be true. So I'm never going to amount to anything. And that became a self-fulfilling prophecy for me for the next 15 years of my life until I healed that memory. So here's the problem in that memory, and it works exactly the same in yours. It's an if-then situation, okay? If I get in my car and drive to the grocery store, I can have a pizza, okay? If, then, all right? Well, how it worked in me is if my dad beats me up and tells me I'm never going to amount to anything, that's the if, then I'm never going to amount to anything. And that's exactly what happened to me for the next 15 years. Let me ask you a question. Was that statement ever true? That I was not going to amount to anything because I had a tennis match scheduled instead of working? Of course not. In fact, my dad told me later that was all about him. It had nothing to do with me. But I lived the next big segment of my life as if it were the only thing important to me. And Hope did the same thing with memories she had. And you are too, whether you know it or not. So the problem is not the if. The problem's not the event. I'm not saying it's not a problem. It's not the problem. The problem is the interpretation. Because this happened, I'm never going to amount to anything. Because this happened, I can never succeed. Because this happened, I can't be happy. But that is always, 100% of the time, a lie. So we don't have to heal my dad hitting me. And I still have that memory today. We only have to heal the lie, the interpretation, the because, the then. So that's what I want to do with you, is find the memories you know about and don't know about. We can heal those too. And we don't have to change the memory of what happened, only the misinterpretation.